All right, so we are here with Jav. I'm Kuba. So Jav,
Hello.
how about you introduce yourself? I know you got the Android devs on your shirt, and I know that's your specialty. How about you tell the people about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having this interview with me. I am Jov. I run a school community which is called Android Devs, and I help people become Android programmers there, basically. So the
Okay,
community
awesome.
has a little over 100 members now, and we are having a lot of fun every week, having workshops, and it's free for everybody to join.
Okay, awesome. I'm Kuba, and I help people travel and set up their online business or scale their online business so they can travel the world while they're making money. And I've actually met Jav through our program, and it was really cool working with you, man. We really connected. And I'm really happy to see you growing your school community, scaling your social media and everything. So today we're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to talk about growing a YouTube channel, growing on Instagram, TikTok, using social media to get clients, things like this.
Absolutely.
So you help programmers, so you're a really technical guy. So I'm really curious about how does a YouTube channel as a technical guy look? Because I know there's different kinds of channels. There's lots of entertaining channels out there, like Mr. Beast and all these things that people follow. So how does a tech person find their place in YouTube?
Well, YouTube is quite, you can find a lot of varieties on YouTube. It's not only for entertaining, but you can also find lots of educational YouTubers over there. So people want to share what they are learning, and then after a while, like by being consistent, they are getting traction, and then people start following them, so they produce more and more videos. But again, it's about helping other people. So like just by sharing your journey, like you can still enjoy what you are doing and have some people following you. So in that sense, it doesn't really matter what you are doing, whether you are educating people or you are entertaining people. There is still place for everybody on YouTube. I think YouTube is in general quite a simple social platform where, like, I mean, it doesn't take too much to understand how does it work. But again, you can learn more like little details about your particular relationship with YouTube as you are going further. So the more you do YouTube, the more you will understand how it works and what are the people that are following you willing to see and what they're expecting from you, because it might be different expectations from one to another YouTuber.
Okay.
It's about just being consistent, and it's about not having great expectations from day one. So I started my YouTube, my first upload was like maybe 5 years ago or something like that. But I wasn't really taking seriously YouTube. I was just recording videos of things that I was helping people with. I would just post it like once in a while. And even then, I got about like over 1,000 subscribers. I didn't really understand online business at all. So I was just posting videos out of like curiosity, out of like seeing what's gonna happen. Those videos were not edited, they were not planned, they were not scripted. I would just go ahead, record something like a screen share, and then post it on YouTube and people would watch. However, after I met you and I met people that were helping me with my online business.
Ted Carr is actually my boss of the team who runs the online business, helping people grow their online business, basically.
Yeah. After I met Ted and his team, where you belong, I started understanding more and more about the content and how the content can bring clients. And I started, I learned a lot from that. I'm still learning. So I've got all the support that you are sharing. And I started turning that into a business. So I started taking that seriously. I am still not as consistent as I want to be on YouTube, but I can definitely see a difference since the last summer. Maybe we can share some statistics, actually. I can share a screen. Since the last summer, we can see that my YouTube channel started to grow, and right now I'm about close to 3,000. So like in few months, I got about half the subscribers that I used to have.
Okay. And when did you start your YouTube channel again, you said? How many years ago?
I have the YouTube channel since I have my Google account, basically, but I wasn't really doing anything on YouTube until I think a little bit before COVID or around that time. And as I said, at that time, I was just sharing things that I felt like just posted there without any goal, without any idea what I'm doing.
So now that you had like a more goal-oriented way of using YouTube and using it to get clients for your grow your business, all this, did you say that over the past 6 months you got as many followers as you did over like 2-3 years?
Yeah, more or less.
Because now you consciously did it with actual goals.
Yeah. Now I understand content a little bit more with the great help from you guys, from your team. I actually started understanding much more about the content, what makes a good content, and what people want to see, what they are looking for, like when they see a video from myself.
And what does that look like? So before you said you had no plan, you just took things you were already teaching people and kind of slapping it online. So now how does a good piece of content look, putting it with actually these goals in mind, like putting it on your channel? How does that look nowadays, your content?
Yeah, well, mostly my content comes from my daily work. So I am documenting what I'm doing. Basically, because I am a programmer myself and I am working on something, let's say in particular, so I would document myself as I'm doing that, or I'll just put a little note in my notebook that, hey, this is something that might be interesting if I share it with people. How am I doing? So then I'm gonna script it out lightly, like or briefly, like what are the things that I would like to share, what are the key points. And then out of that, I would record a video, like particularly doing in a dummy project, doing the thing that I want to explain. And then I would edit that, and I would edit by, removing tracks, just good quality of editing. And I started learning to edit myself as well. And I started to learn what makes a good video, like all the recording techniques. And you don't really need like top-notch techniques like great camera or whatever. All I do basically is I have my laptop, I have no lights, and I have my phone. So I'm recording myself with my phone, and I record my screen on my laptop, and that's how I make the videos.
Are you doing that right now? Are you recording yourself right now with your phone on the side, or just with the computer?
No, right now I'm not. For this one,
okay. Yeah.
But I do record myself also during the workshops in the school community that I run. We are doing once a week we have 2 workshops, and I'm recording myself as well, and the screen as I'm trying to explain the things. And then I'm posting the screen recording on YouTube as an unlisted video, so it's gonna be accessible inside the school community for my school members. And out of those videos, I'm taking shorts that I'm posting on YouTube afterwards. So in terms of content, it comes from the work that I do daily. So I'm not coming up with ideas or something like out of my daily work.
Yes.
Although it could happen. But then it's all about editing down those videos and then making a good content.
Yeah, so actually I would like to speak on this because that's what Ted Carr calls the effortless content distribution system, where you're already making content because you're teaching your clients, you're doing workshops, you're doing lives, whatever. You're already recording these videos and you're teaching something and you're getting into a flow. So sometimes these ideas come out that might not come out if you're like recording a 1-minute video, right? So it's cool to get those nuggets and turn them into shorts. So you're taking your long form content, turning it into small pieces of content. What do you think about, because it's really important to have hooks to hook people into your content, keep it engaging, and then have like call to actions if you want to bring them into your programs or into your community. What do you think about taking those clips and having hooks? Have you been able to find good hooks from those clips that you use for short form content from videos you're already recording? As opposed to like when you plan a video for 1 minute, you can just like start with a good hook and get into it. But this, you're already flowing. Like, how has that been, finding those hooks from those videos?
That's hard. So when I'm working on a video on a purpose to share a particular thing, like particular technique or something, I'm starting with asking a question. How am I gonna do this? And then I would add the hook in the title and the thumbnail. And that's most of the time the hook is something like do this to X, or things like are you making this mistake, or are you aware of this productivity booster, are you using this productivity booster, those kind of things. So I would add that in the title. In the short, if it's a short format, because I'm titling, I'm adding these subtitles on the videos, I'm gonna find a place for the cover where it asks a question, because I'm trying to also ask questions to myself while recording, like whether it is a workshop, whether it is a video recording, I'm thinking of asking myself a question that's gonna become a good hook over the time.
Okay.
And then I would start from there in the editing. But
The
when that's
question.
not the case, because it happens that I don't have that, when that's not the case, I'll just add a text over in the cover. And actually you can do that in the editing or when posting itself happens,
Yeah.
like in the YouTube application. Also Instagram and TikTok have that. So you can put the hook like in the starting as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Another thing that YouTube introduced recently is that you can link videos. So like you can have chain of videos, one after another if you have shorts, or you can have in your shorts, you can point to the people a longer format video, which is something that I do. In my short, I will point a video. What I usually do is like, if I have, let's say 5 minutes video, I'll cut it in shorts as well, like re-edit it afterwards. And then in these shorts, I'm gonna put a link because there is a functionality that they added recently that points out to the longer format video. In the longer format video, I'm gonna have a link or a call to action to my Skool community. And then people will find out the Skool community through that.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's cool that YouTube does that. You could link to a long form video.
Yeah. And otherwise, YouTube doesn't really have good CTA options.
Yeah, it's more like you gotta have something that's valuable that you share in the description that people could click on the link and go to, which might be watching another video, or it might be getting a resource that's in your Skool community. I'm guessing you do that as well.
Yeah, when you when I'm having a longer format video in the description, I usually put a link to the Skool community. So I'm not saying, hey, I have a community, go to the community. Nobody does that. Nobody cares about your community.
Of course.
But if you say, click the link below to find out more or to learn more, they're gonna click, like, if they click the link, they're gonna get to the community. And then in the community, if you have a lot of value, a lot of content in there, they're gonna figure out that, hey, this is actually a place that I want to be in because there is lots of value here and I get it for free.
Exactly. Do you use landing pages before getting to the Skool community, like to share free resource or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. For like in my YouTube description, I have a link to my Linktree, and also I have in my Instagram account and TikTok, I also have that. So I get some people through that. But to be fair, most of the people I'm getting directly in the community by having a click to action to actually find out more or learn more.
Yeah, okay.
I used to be asking the people, if you see some of my shorts, you can see like there is a call to action at the end saying like join Android Desk community. Nobody knows what's that. Nobody cares about that. But if you have a call to action as to like link to full tutorial below, and actually that's something that I used recently, like find out more below. And I'm not even saying that because the content when I'm recording, I'm not saying that. Although I can record small frame and then add it after each video, but it's gonna be too much like off context, you know? I haven't tried it, but it feels a little bit weird to me.
Only if it matched the context, I guess. That would make sense.
Yeah. But what I usually do is like text works always. Just add text, people will see the text. So as like in the last few frames or like last few like second or so, I'll just add a text that animates nicely and then it's gonna say find out more below. And then in case of YouTube, you have this link, like linked video that has to the longer format video. And then from there, they can find out more by clicking in the description.
Of the longer
and
video.
And for Instagram, because I use the same shorts in Instagram and in TikTok, I have the link in the description directly.
Of the video.
Of the longer format video inside the community, because usually after I post the video on YouTube, I advertise it through my community. I will link it in my community as a part of the classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I have a classroom that let's say if the video is about Android Studio in particular, that's the development environment that we are using, then I have a section and a classroom in the community that talks about Android Studio, and I'll add the video there. Then in all my promotion on social media, I'm gonna add the link to the Skool lesson that talks about that, and that's how people get traction to the community.
Yeah, but you mentioned on Instagram you put the link. In Instagram, you can't really put links in the description because it's not clickable.
It's not clickable though.
But you can see the link. Yeah, okay.
But people can find the Yeah, in Instagram, I have in my description also the link to my link tree.
Yeah, in your Instagram bio.
Yeah, in my Instagram bio. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, on Instagram, I would usually say link in bio, but nowadays I just tell people comment or DM the word to my like messages, so
Yeah,
that
I do that.
I'll send them the thing, just because I'm not sure how effective having links that are not clickable are. Maybe once in a while someone will take it, but I haven't experimented that myself. I just feel like on Instagram, people don't want to do too much work. They just want to make it easy. So even if I say link in bio, I'll put my bio like hashtag, like tag myself, so all they have to do is click my name. And even if I say message me the word, I'll put my name, or comment the word. That's the easiest. They could just comment below. And nowadays you could set up automations that will automatically send things out and start a conversation. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, for YouTube, everyone knows it's important to have a thumbnail and the hook title that you talked about. How important is that for shorts as opposed to long form?
For the shorts, I think it's much less important, because people are gonna get to your short by scrolling to other shorts. And but also it is important in a sense, because oftentimes your subscribers are gonna get a notification that you have uploaded a new short, and also when they open YouTube app, there is a section for shorts, and then they are gonna see the thumbnail and the hook as well. So in that sense, it is quite important, but not as important as for the long format videos. However, YouTube is not allowing you to edit or to add a custom thumbnail for the shorts. So you have to select it from the video itself. And when you're selecting it from the video itself, the only way to select is if you're uploading from your phone. So what I usually do is I send the video the short that I'm about to upload to YouTube. I send it to my phone, and then from my phone I make the upload, and I select the thumbnail from there. So I usually try, because I am titling my videos, I put the subtitles. I would select something that opens a curiosity or something, like, because as I said, I'm asking myself a question during recording, and then I would move it there, or I would make it like I would move it to a point that is sort of controversial. So it opens the curiosity to somebody who is watching that. So like, if you make a curious statement or something that is controversial, it's more likely that people are gonna click on it to see what you're actually saying. Yeah, so I think it's about getting creative in a sense, and you can figure out what works for you and your audience when doing that. But you have to be also a little bit careful, because people are, they are getting more and more used to the things that, if you, for example, make that only for a click, if you sort of lie on your entry point, if your thumbnail or your title is not delivering after they click to watch the video, then they're gonna be clicking off.
They'll be disappointed.
There is sort of disappointment. And then if they click off, YouTube understands that even though they are clicking on your video, they are not watching it. So YouTube is gonna promote it to less people rather than to the masses.
Yeah. So it messes up your algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Mr. Beast said it really good. If you just replace whenever you are talking about YouTube, the word algorithm with the word audience or people, that's actually what YouTube is. So the algorithm is actually the people. If they want to watch your videos, they're gonna be promoted more.
I really like that perspective.
Yeah. So if you click on a video, like if you have a good thumbnail and good title that attracts people, they're gonna click on your video. If they click on your video and they watch it, or the longer they watch, then they stay on the platform longer. And what YouTube really actually wants is for the viewer to stay longer on the platform. That's everything that they want. The longer somebody stays on the platform, the more ads they are gonna see, the more revenue for YouTube. So it's that simple. So if they click on your thumbnail and watch the entire video, it's more likely that YouTube is gonna promote that video to another and another and another that also gonna click and watch till the end. So that's how videos are getting viral on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
But if somebody clicks on your video, they click off, of course YouTube is not gonna promote it. And they are giving great metrics when your video is there for like few days. You can open in the details the analytics of the video, and you can find out where exactly people are clicking off. And then you can understand on which things, for example, you have to pay more attention. So maybe they're clicking off when you are taking a breath. Maybe they are clicking off when you are, I don't know, sneezing or something. So in the next video, you avoid doing that or edit that in the editing process.
Cut it out, exactly.
Yeah. Or if you are having, what happens most with me is they are clicking off before the video ends, when I'm sort of signing off the video and I'm sort of adding promotional material saying goodbye. So those messages, I have to really work to make them shorter. Instead of explaining blah, 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 see you in the next video, I can just say bye, that's it.
Or like get to the point at the end, whatever you want to promote. Yeah, that's really good point.
It's a process that like I understand that as the time goes by, I'm learning over and over again. So with each next video, I'm getting better and I am understanding new things that I would take in consideration when making the next video. So it's a learning process.
Yeah, so one thing about the thumbnails that I asked about, I noticed that being able to slide over your video to choose that cover, like you said, when you use subtitles, that's cool because then you can get words on the screen. If you edit your videos, sometimes for me, I would get some B-roll that looks good with the subtitle. And I think it makes pretty good covers. Someone lazy like me, sometimes I don't feel like looking for a separate cover on Instagram where you can. I'll still just slide over and find a cool spot. I've been pretty happy with that. And I think when I go to someone's channel that I follow, an influencer, and I see their shorts and you can see the covers with the title, like you said, from the subtitles, and it's like clear what that video is about, or it's a cool picture, because they have that edit in their videos, it just makes their channel nicer and it's easier to find a short that resonates with me. So I think that is important.
Yeah. So if you open somebody's Instagram account or TikTok account or even YouTube, the shorts, they mostly look the same. And that's actually part of the branding, I would say. So what you're saying is if you have them more or less similar, that's, I think that's a good thing.
With different titles.
Yeah, but similar, like in terms of branding, like whether your face, let's say in the cover, your face is appearing on the top side, let's say, and then like for most of the video that's the case. I think that contributes to having your page sort of similar.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so can you tell us, with everything you were saying to make things more engaging, finding out where people drop off so you can edit the video right so that you don't lose people, how do you as a tech guy, developer, make your videos more engaging?
Yeah, so I think there is the first thing that I would say is like there is a big difference between the platforms. If you are talking about shorts, you can upload shorts on Instagram and on TikTok that are longer than 1 minute, and then you can deliver more things into that 1 minute. On YouTube, you are pretty much limited with 1 minute, but on the contrary, on YouTube, your video lives forever. It's gonna be evergreen because YouTube is perceived as a search engine. So you can, like, by putting correct keywords, and I'm gonna maybe elaborate a little bit more on that, how you can find what attracts people. It's gonna stay there and people will find it if they are searching for something that you've done even 5 years ago. But on Instagram and on TikTok, that's not really the case. So like the video vanishes after a little bit. But on what's also interesting is that on Instagram and on TikTok, you can get much more viral video in a short period of time. So it depends on what you really want. However, for YouTube, I think what's important in terms of engagement is to really, like, you have to be consistent, first of all. First, you start with posting videos and post them for yourself, not for others. When I say post them for yourself, is like learn what people want and how the whole process goes. So you're gonna learn from each and every video as you're posting, but it really needs to be consistent. So if you can have 1 video a week, that's gonna be great. Just post it, even there is 1, 2, 5, 10 subscribers, doesn't matter. Just post the videos, and then it's about learning how everything works. So you're doing that for yourself. After like maybe 50, 60, 100 videos, you're gonna think and post about the people that are following you. So you're gonna be thinking more about the engagement and how everything in that area works.
As you figure out what people want.
Yeah, exactly. And they're gonna even tell you, like in the comments, if you are pulling them somewhere, for example, you are becoming somebody who they follow. and you are playing a character basically in the online, and then they will follow you as like for the persona that you are. They can find similar or maybe the same content somewhere else, but they follow you because who you are.
And you can always ask people like, what do you want to hear more of?
Exactly. And then they're gonna be asking you to make video for this, make video for that. And from there you can learn what people and what your audience want. When it comes to engagement, I started to learn editing myself because I think it was something that interested me, to be fair. It was kind of seeing all these videos around, and I was thinking, how's that possible? How is that possible? So it opened up the curiosity for me, so I started learning myself. And when you get into that, when you start watching videos, learning from others, you can understand what actually makes people engage. And you have to understand that when you post, let's say, a little more than 50 videos, you are gonna start analyzing how everything goes, and you are gonna start analyzing this clicking off metrics. And it's really like, you have to understand that that happens to everybody. So the first few seconds are decision making for somebody. When they click on a video, they want they are sort of eagerly waiting or looking for ways to click off and move on. So if they get the first moment they're gonna see something that is gonna be like make them click off, they're gonna click off. That's what I understood over the time. And like the video that I have that has the best performance, I think it's about 60% view rate, the most. So like most of the videos are going down to about 30% viewers staying and watching the video. It's about 30% in average for myself, and I think that's average in general on YouTube. Or maybe it's something that I'm thinking, but I'm pretty much confident it's about 30%.
Yeah, but you said 60% is like really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I would say if you have one video that has 60% view time, then you have to consider that as a very successful video. I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you're posting more and more video, you are gonna start understanding what are these points where the people are clicking off. And they're usually things like either you are going too much off topic, or you are sort of, jumping from one to another thing, or maybe it is unclear for people what are you about to do or about to say. And then you will understand that there are different techniques that you can use. For example, you are telling something like in the hook, in this video we are gonna do this and this, and then by the end I'm gonna share this additional thing that will make them more curious. So you're not gonna say at which point you're gonna tell it, but it sort of asks them to stay to see what's the thing that you are gonna be revealing.
Yeah. At some point in the video.
Sometimes, but yeah. There is always an option on YouTube that the people are gonna skip, through the video and try to find out. So in that sense, I'm trying to also make the videos straight to the point. Like if I'm about to share about this particular thing, I'm gonna try to make it straight to the point about that particular thing. Like driving too much around.
And what do you think about like, in terms of that, like sharing 3 points, or how people do like 3 things that will get you this end result, or 5 steps to, like, what do you think about that, as opposed to just talking about the topic and not having like a breakdown? Like, do you think it's important to break it down into steps or sections for people? Like, have you seen any success with that, or what are your thoughts?
Actually, I started doing that recently, so I don't have really good metrics to tell you. But I see that if I break the video at the beginning, so I have some sort of content or agenda, what I'm gonna be talking about, and
yeah, exactly.
Usually there are
agenda,
like 2 or 3 things. And then I say, like, in this video we are gonna be talking about A. It starts on like 1 minute 2 seconds, let's say, about B at 3 minutes 2 seconds, and then C. So I'm gonna add them with labels in the editing. And then people, if they want to really see only one particular thing, they can jump to that one. It doesn't really happen that, or at least from the last video that I posted, I have that. It's not happening that they are jumping, but they have much more or much clearer, how to say, understanding as what's the expectation of the video. So they know that they are gonna see this, and that.
Yeah.
Then if you stick to the things that you have promised that you are going to be showing, they're going to stay. But if you say we are going to learn about ABC, or I'm going to show you ABC, and then you start talking about completely different thing, they're going to click off.
Yeah.
Because as I said, keep in mind, people and start from yourself. When you open video on YouTube, what do you do? You're sort of searching for an answer, or you want to, like, if it's not entertaining or something. And you, at least I think for most of the people, what happens is they are eagerly looking for a reason to click off. The first moment they find that reason, they're gonna click off.
Yeah, like I'll only watch something that really interests me and that I'm excited about. But if not, I'll click off like really quick. I think it's just human instinct.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your time because you have something else to do. Yeah, and that's why when I say YouTube is evergreen, people use it for looking. Like most of the time they want to understand something, so they're searching for something. So they treat it as a search engine recently. So if you like, when you're posting the videos, you can see the metrics, how people get to your video. And you can see what are the search terms that they were using in order to get to your video. So before making a video, when you're brainstorming or planning a video, you can maybe do a little research, like search yourself the terms that you would like to cover in your video and see what videos are gonna appear, and maybe see some of them. And then maybe you can have a better understanding what people are watching, because YouTube gives you first the videos that are more popular. And then you can see if you can do better job in that sense. Another thing that I use is the Google Trends. In Google Trends, you can see if a topic is like trendy, or if the people are searching about it in general on Google.
Yeah.
So let's say you are about keto diet, for example, not to be technical now. And then you can search that term exactly, or similar terms on Google Trends, and you can see how the trend goes for the last year, let's say. So if it's trendy, it's much more likely that the people are gonna end up to your video when they're searching for that.
Yeah, and I think on YouTube you can also check by view count to see like what's the most popular videos. Like you could sort it by the most views. I believe it's view count. And then you can see the titles that are similar to what you want to talk about, and you can actually just mimic those titles that work, the titles that are popular. You can mimic thumbnails as well that work by just seeing like what's the most popular and just mimicking it. Then you know people are already interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a lot of there are a lot of tools that you can use to help you out with the titles, with the thumbnails, how everything's gonna be looking. And you can test the thumbnail in dark mode, light mode, different devices. So yeah, that all makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, do you have any of these tools?
Yeah, I have a list of tools.
You should definitely share that in the description below if you can.
Yeah, we can,
or unless it's in your community or whatever.
It's not in my community, but I can definitely share. So for thumbnails, I use Thumbnail Tester, and that helps you see whether your how your thumbnail might perform. Thumbs up, it is used to see how the thumbnail will look like in light and dark mode on different device and screen sizes. Remove.bg is for removing the background. If you're like making a picture of yourself to edit on the thumbnail, then you can remove the background in this software, and it's as easy as like dropping the image and they're gonna delete the background for you. Then you can download only the face or the thing that is cut off. Canva, but Canva can also do this removing of the background if you're having a subscription, if you pay for it. And yeah, there are a few more that I use and I can share about, like, for example, finding sounds for your videos. Those are free, like Pixar and things like that. I can definitely share this list and then you can integrate in the video.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I was going to ask you, when is an appropriate time for a call to action in your YouTube video?
That is interesting. I think that's
I have a couple of thoughts on it.
That is mostly, it depends on the video itself, I think.
Because I know at the end is like a no-brainer to have a call to action. But I noticed some people who will do like the 3 tips to whatever end result. They'll list 2 tips, they'll share the value, and then before they get into the 3rd, they'll have a call to action. And then they'll go on with the 3rd. I think that's a good technique, because then you know, like you said, some people click off before the end of your video, but that way it's still in the video, the call to action, so they're still engaged. They just got through 2 tips, they're curious about the third, you drop your call to action there, then they might do that action and then continue watching your third tip. I think
that's the most common and by far the best thing that you can do. The call to action at the end is like for sure that you are gonna add it, and the thing is that not everybody stays till the end, so you want to have some call to action before that as well. So like you can have, what I usually do is I have a call to action after, like I would share a little bit about the introduction, what this video is gonna be covering, and then I'm gonna add a call to action or something. And yeah, sometimes it depends on the video. I put that before I share something that I promised, like for the people to stay.
Okay, like the call to action.
Something like before a curious moment or something.
You'll share the call to action.
Yeah.
Okay, so within the video, in the middle somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm curious your thoughts on this. I think a mistake that some people do when they make content is they'll have multiple calls to action, like too many calls to action. And I think it's really important if you're trying to like get clients or build your community, whatever. It's important to have one specific call to action that's very clear, that will get people taking that one action, instead of having options which might lead them to doing nothing.
Yeah.
It looks like you're agreeing.
Yeah, definitely, I do agree. So as the time goes, you're gonna understand a little bit more of a copyright, a little bit more of a tone of voice about your brand, and then you're gonna learn and stick to that. And essentially, you definitely want to have only one call to action, and you want to make that clear for the people. So otherwise, if you have more, definitely that's gonna confuse people.
Yeah, one of our clients actually, his main platform is Facebook, and he's got quite a big following. And I just told him one thing. I'm like, you have on one of your, I was looking at one of his posts, and it's like, join the community, get this free book, message me if you want this other like exclusive one-on-one. I'm like, dude, that's so many things. Like, just, I told him about the one call to action, and he changed it. He didn't implement anything else yet from our program, but just that one change he had time to do. And he put it like, just download my free book. And he said he got so many people reaching out to him, having conversations and getting on the call, that he couldn't manage it. He even asked me like, can you help me manage this, bro? So I'm like, just from changing that to having one call to action, because then it's so clear, like, oh, get the free book, bam, I'm gonna get the free book, it's gonna help me. That could lead to the DM conversation, that could lead to the one-on-one, that could lead to those other things, but it's just one call. Instead of being like, check out my one-on-one, check out my free book, check out my community, it's like one call to action could lead to all those things step by step, but you start with one step.
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes we and I include myself there, we try to overcomplicate the things, and they have to be very simple. So the simpler it is, the better. We are thinking I'm gonna just give many options so that people can choose. What actually happens, it confuses people.
Yeah.
You want to give as little options as possible, so it's gonna be easy for them to just proceed.
Exactly. Yeah, so Jav, do you have any other tips you want to share about growing a successful YouTube channel, putting out good content on there?
Yes. The number one forever is gonna be stay consistent. So don't give up too soon. Just stick to the thing that you are doing, and it's gonna be hard. And I think when people are talking about hard work, actually hard work means persistent work. So doing the same thing over and over for a longer period of time.
Even when you don't see results right away.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see it right away, like just sticking to it, persisting.
It's gonna compound at the end. So you are sort of delaying the gratitude. At the end, you are gonna get much more of what you are actually pursuing. Just stick to the thing, be consistent, and then try to analyze as much as possible the things that you are doing, the steps that you are taking, and then how you can optimize over and over again. That would be my top one, I think.
Okay, awesome. And did you want to talk about Instagram and TikTok a little bit before we close off?
If you want to make money as a content creator, make sure to check the free guide below that shows you how to do it, and get started today. Let's get back into the video. Peace.
Yeah. My experience with TikTok and Instagram, it's been great, obviously, but I have much less following there. What I see, for example, on TikTok, I have a video that has like 5K views, but it got the 5K views and then that's it. The video died afterwards, and like people are not like, it doesn't really have many other new views. Same happens on Instagram. It's like, you know, attractive for a little while and then that's it. At least in my case. And people are not getting back to it. Whereas on YouTube, the video becomes evergreen, and like when somebody looks for it or searches for it, it's gonna appear.
Yeah, actually one of our coaches, so a couple of our coaches in our program, like how I'm a coach, and there's a few colleagues I have, a couple of them did this challenge about it's probably been over a year now, to do 3 TikTok videos a day. And the one coach was really resistant, but the other one was like, no, you gotta come join us, you gotta come join us. And she went to like hang out with her in person, convinced her. So she did 3 TikToks a day, and she was like, she had barely any followers. She blew up to like many thousands of followers. She got millions of views, teaching relationship advice, doing 3 TikToks a day for 30 days. So that's a platform, like you said, 1 or 2 of her videos went viral, and that brought attention to her page. But because she kept going 3 a day, it kind of like kept her growing, and it kept people coming. So I'm sure that one video probably would have died off too, but then she made like another one, and like another one went viral, and then that's how she blew up. So I think that's kind of a platform, like if you put a lot of content on there, you're like, you'll blow up.
Yeah. That's what works on those platforms. So you have to be much more persistent, or like, let's say, that's why you are sharing shorts there. So you have to do many. So if you can post 7 items of content per day on all the platforms that you're gonna have, you're gonna be much more successful than somebody who is sharing 1 or maybe not even 1. And that's like, you know, quantity always neglects the luck. So like the more you do, probably you're gonna be more succeeding than somebody who doesn't do at all. But it depends on like whether you can do that. If you can do that, I would suggest doing that, definitely.
But it's still important to have quality. It's still important to have a good hook to hook people in, make it engaging, and like a good call to action. It's just that when you do it more, you get more experience and you get better too. So the quality does go up over time as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you're learning all these things as the time goes anyway, and I think it's important to actually stay to the things, to like still consider the quality, the hooks and everything, because if you're just posting content because of posting content, then you can post 100 and then you're not gonna get much in return, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So on Instagram is where I've actually put more attention than my YouTube. So now I'm happy to talk to you because I'm growing my YouTube. I want to grow it more this year. My Instagram, I got about 5,000 or so followers. And a big way that I grew, actually, besides Reels and being on there for a while and sharing stories is important too, to connect to your audience. But it's collaborations. Collaborations was a really quick way to grow. So doing these kinds of interviews, getting in front of other people's audience, they're getting in front of yours, you're just helping each other grow. And that's been a way to like really exponentiate growth on Instagram, I noticed. Because you can go live on Instagram, do those lives. Those are a really good way to grow.
Well, that really resonates with me, and it's a good learning for me, because I think also what people are trying to do on YouTube recently is that they are making some sort of sessions like this, like live session.
Yeah.
And almost like a podcast or something. So they're gonna have a guest once in a while or once a week.
Yeah.
And that helps growing a lot as well, although it is a little bit different format. But I can definitely understand how that can be of a great help, because instead of you sharing value only on yourself, you have like 2 people delivering value to your audience, and then they're gonna see that actually you are not making up anything from yourself only, but you are also having social life.
Exactly. Other people are doing the same thing, bringing the same result. And then you take that video, you chop it up, and then you have a bunch of reels and shorts from that long interview, which is actually where more people engage. Like people engage live, but after you post live, it doesn't have that much engagement usually after. It's usually more during, because people can comment and chime in. And then if you chop it up into shorts, taking those hooks from those moments that you were talking with the interviewer, and then like that's what gets more engagement as well. And then you could like edit it, put the subtitles, put the music, all that. So it's a great way to grow your channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what's also a good benefit is that the one that you are interviewing is gonna expose you in front of their audience and vice versa.
Exactly.
So you're sort of helping each other, and that booms up. Also,
Exactly.
like, especially if you're in the same niche, same area.
And then in terms of finding clients, your ideal client might be in their audience, you know, and vice versa.
Exactly, which is super important.
Yeah, I was happy. One of our clients, she was a beginner, started her business with us, and she was taking a while, but she was consistent, and she was like taking a while to get her first client. I did a live with her about skin health, and then I chopped it up into shorts. I got my editor to chop it into shorts, into reels, and we said, like, comment the word skin for help from her. And she said she got her first high ticket client from one of those reels. And I was just like so happy. I'm like, that's awesome, man.
That's
just
it,
from like doing a live, turning it into shorts, and then it turned it into a client. So it's really awesome.
Yeah. I think I remember that collaboration. It was with Ezra, I guess.
Ezra, yeah. I was like, you got it from my video? Awesome. Like from my collaboration?
Yeah. And she's killing it, I think, now.
Yeah, she's been really consistent. So that's part of the process, like sticking to it, like you said. Just like keep going. Don't worry about the results yet. It's the delayed gratification if you stick to it.
Always. It just compounds over the time.
Awesome job.
Yeah.
I think you shared a lot of value. Unless you want to share anything else, we could leave it at that. I'm sure we'll connect again.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share? Or?
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything right now. But yeah, I think we can definitely do this once, like more often, as I'm learning more and as you are also growing, and then we can also have some other chat to share that experience.
Exactly. Yeah, awesome. I would love that. Yeah, thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing your insight, and take care.
Thank you so
much. What should the people do to connect with you?
They can find me on YouTube. They can just search for JOVMIT. That's my first letter of my first name and first 3 letters of my last name. Or they can search for the Android devs community on Skool. They can hang out there with me as well. I am available all the time. They can send me the DMs. They can find me on Instagram as well and on TikTok.
Okay, awesome. And if you don't know about Skool yet, I'm sure Alex Harmozy will make that clear very soon. He just invested in Skool. It's going to blow up. It's a really cool platform for communities. So especially if you're an Android developer, come hang out with Jav and get that support in his community.
Yeah.
So much love, man. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad and grateful for this interview.
My pleasure, man. I'm really happy too.